at all, Max, pays off here big time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that first Erangel was mainly because of the plane that was very northern. I think that was the reasoning behind it. But you know what? That's an extra little bonus for having changed that drop location, Imptero. So I would have to echo your point. But was it the main core reason as to why that happened in the first place? I'm not 100% certain just yet.
Yeah, well, you know what, man? We got match number 4 coming right up. The last Erangel of the day. Max, real quick, percentage chance we're going to see another Gatka circle. Go.
99% chance. And if it doesn't happen, we fell on that 1%. Okay, so it's looking pretty good.
All right. I like those odds right now, but let's get ready for match number 4 and take it on over to our casters.
And in we go. The third and final Erangel of today, match number 4 for Group Green. And we are going over the military base island up towards Pmgc. We'll see where our teams opt to drop. We haven't seen any hot drops on Erangel so far. Teams are playing sensibly. We'll see if this more eastern-sided playing path is going to favor us. And are we going to go back to Gatka? That's the question on my mind.
It would be amusing to go back to Gatka. I'd be okay with it. You know, you get the 3-time reset. Figure out what you want to do. I think at this point, though, there'll be like probably 3 teams trying to go for that compound that sits just south of Everest. Of a very different story. APG dropped down towards Sosnovka. No reason not to here, especially with the fact that the plane path is so south starting on this one. But yeah, very much off towards the east side. So a little bit more difficult. I think most players and teams would hope for an eastern shift on the circle here. Would make their lives much easier in the long run. For OG, it's a bit of a long drop over towards Rozhok.
Yes, a bit of a way to get that one. We'll see if they're able to make it. Probably drop in short, grab some vehicles, head on out. You can see they're over, towards the west side of the Yaz fields. Grab a vehicle or 2. They should be okay. And we're definitely not going to the Gatka fields, Blank. We're going over to the east side this time around.
Yeah, you can already see here a little bit of argy-bargy going on in terms of teams all rotating on top of one another because the spots are limited. Hello. Pistol out. See if we can get done. The monster truck is coming, though. One more shot. It's all it takes, and he does find it. Very nice.
It's got quite a lot of ammo in that pistol. It's looking good on the iron sights. Oh, dear. It came up against a rifle. That is... That's really annoying. That's really annoying for the Falcons. Oh, yeah. He definitely overstayed on that.
Yeah, a bit overzealous is the way to... You just get in the vehicle, run him down, and then leave, right? You don't need to flush him with the pistol. I think for Narvalo, it's an unfortunate one, especially with Narvalo being one of their best players on that squad in terms of gun skill. And I think that they desperately do need that. Koa in the past was so incredibly strong, really made a name for himself, but I think has been slightly less explosive in terms of performance recently. I'm still waiting for him to break back onto the scene.
Yes, hopefully a resurgence in his future, but it's easier said than done. Let's take a look at some of the data for APG. They definitely have stepped back up, right? The desk were talking about it. We've been talking about it as well. A revitalized Mongolian front coming through. They're now top of the tables, kind of where we expected them to be. Better late than never. Gen G managed to take 2 players down from the Goats. That leaves them on 1 player standing now for Goat, and they are not going to be happy about that. That is a pretty appalling situation to find yourself in, not even into minute 4.
Yeah, a fairly aggressive start, honestly, all things considered for an international format. Already 4 players down, only 3 minutes into the match is quite ridiculous, but Goat's definitely mostly on the receiving end of this. Only Varanik left remaining for the squad. Gonna have to go for some survival maneuvers into the late game here. For 9Z, I think they're very happy with their Yaz drop here. This is a great position to get started, especially if it moves over towards the fields. You've got a lot of vision here. You can play on the south side of Gatka. Here's those shots from Dami. Oh, insane spray transfer as well.
Yeah.
Assisted by Quick with the SKS.
Very, very nice stuff. Earned points, definitely, for Gen G. Unfortunate for GOAT that they were the ones that those points were extracted from. And they will have to just try and trot on with just the one player now. Still, more matches to play, more games to be had. Tiamba, very, very quiet so far. You said in that last match, it wasn't looking good for them. We'll see if they can change the tune from Milta now. Maybe it's just that they don't favor those Gatka rotates, right? Maybe it's just that they really don't like heading over to that part of the map. Maybe they'll find something better on this east side.
I think the team that I'm most frustrated with at the moment is probably Paparazzi Supermassive, getting practically 0 points since Rondo at the start of the day, which just confused me. I genuinely do think this is a good team, but so far it's been really lackluster. And they're a strong team when it comes to sweeping, but I think they keep getting themselves into some bad scenarios. Now, I'd hope that things would get better tomorrow for them, but it's a lot of homework that needs to be done between now and then. But I think that that's almost not inexcusable, but the fact that we saw 2 games back to back where it was pretty much the same circle, there were some very clear teams who had learned their lesson from the previous game. I mean, Wolves immediately took it upon themselves to pick up the only compound that was free the entire time that no one went to. I think that was a great decision to make, and it got them far into the game. But again, it shows that on-the-fly changes can be made during the day, and we just haven't seen that from Papa Supermassive, which I think is required a level of gameplay like this. So yeah, we'll see. Not that Turkey needs more contestants into the grand finals, that is.
Oh dear, yeah. I mean, they've already been able to snaffle away 2 of those spots, right? Doing pretty well. Looking good for representation on that global stage, and that, well, you can't say much fairer than that. I think it's been interesting to see what they've been able to do. Both Kara and Ulf already taking strides out towards those finals from the gauntlet stage. Maybe we'll see another team join them. I mean, you'd hope. I mean, this is going a little bit into the future now, but you'd hope that Regnum Kaya also are going to be able to find one of those spots and really make that global lobby complete, really, with Silas's presence.
I'm definitely unsure about it, though, at this point in time. I'm definitely unsure about Regnum Kaya. I think in the past, it would be the case coming into this international. I was like, oh, Regnum Kaya is definitely going to be going through to the grand finals. I was fairly confident in that. Not so much anymore. I actually have my doubts. Which is sad as well, because I really do like Regnum Kaya as a team. I think Zedwolf's a great addition. And when I saw him get added to the team, sort of for me, it was a case of, that's insane. Like, that's just become a god roster. But it's not the case.
No, it wasn't quite. I mean, they did very well, obviously, in the region. And obviously, with Zedwolf just coming into the roster, it was a little bit rocky, a little bit of a difficult road that they trod in order to get to the victory, right? The entirety of the PMSL that they qualified through. But here, it seems like that process has sort of had to happen again, and hopefully it's happened in short order. APG, they were able to turn it around massively, right, from the group stages, and maybe the similar sort of thing could happen here.
We don't. Let's not talk about APG.
Well, they did pretty badly in the gauntlet.
That's better. Okay. I think we just get the catch. Can't talk about them.
Don't want to. Yeah, it's just so bad right now. Like, just
it's so
I don't
bad.
even know what they're doing. It's just awful.
Yeah, it's just really not good. The same. It's the only way. It's the only way to get them to do well. All right, you're lay into them, and they can take it.
Ooh,
try respect.
Circle's laying into the lobby right now, heading all the way out to the east side. Lepovka Circle, very rare. We'll see who's going to be able to crunch in over that mansion area. A lot of buildings is surrounded by open ground in this zone. And then up to Lepovka, that hill that sits to the west of it. Could potentially be a little bit of respite. Wolves, they're kind of at the back of the queue right now, embroiled with OG and absolutely no one else, who we definitely won't talk about.
Absolutely. And those who shall not be named are currently in front of the Wolves. So very similar rivalry to previous Erangel there. But to be honest, like, I think APG does look like a very different beast this time around. And I'm very pleased by it. And again, I think Doc's taken it upon himself. Oof, it's rough. Doc has definitely taken it upon himself to be more of the front man for the squad. But still playing in tune with the rest of the band here, which is really cool. And it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. And they're succeeding because of it.
Yeah, it's necessary. It's necessary for them to be able to do that. Over to Lipovka. Okay, a big scout out coming through from AKOP. This is a big split from the rest of the roster right now. And they've already lost, I say the rest of the roster. There is only one other player, WizGod, as OG did get torn apart a little bit. They tried to crash over the hill into Lipovka. The Falcons now join them. Obviously, we know they lost a player earlier on. But the teams have managed to consolidate themselves to the east side. It has been a bit of a mad dash. Except for Go. I think they're still on a bit of a wide rotate blank.
Well, he's on a bit of a wide rotate, yeah. For Alter Ego, they have one of the most insane positions on the map right now. I really love this little patch of high ground that they play. In the past, it's brought a lot of separate teams big victories, and I think that the team that starts in Lipovka, you could see how much this position is favored because the circle is centered on Lipovka. You don't want to play there. That's like the survival area of the map. It is also a case where this is a worrying amount of water in the circle right now. It's almost 50%.
Yeah, it's it is maybe time for the armbands for one or two players, you'd imagine. Ooh, a bit of trouble on the north side for Inner Circle as they're trying to move in on the north, but they're fairly isolated. They should be okay. You can see the next circle will be popping soon. As 9Z yet to fully transition away from Yasnaya. They will have to, though. And we're going all the way up north, another hard shift, and another circle with a lot of water. Nobody's in the middle of this one, Blank. Don't worry.
Oh, who's that? This just seems like an invisible squad in the middle.
There's just no team there.
Actually, decent. It's a small ditch that they're playing in. It's not like incredibly insane. I will say that APG today has been like somewhat lucky on some of the circles that come towards them, but it hasn't been like all the circles are going APG's way. But they have had a few of them. But the thing is that they are translating every single time on those circles, where they're currently at 48 points. Now, if they're able to get another big game here, like, goodness me, you're like stamping a ticket almost at this point in time with 48 points. Duke's highlighted it perfectly. It's a 16-point average, which is unheard of.
It is pretty crazy, but it is a small sample size. And we've seen back-to-back chicken dinners and things like that happen before. And it is always in these 3-day sets about transitioning to the next days. They've had a great success in today's games, but we've seen bigger than 48. And granted, they still do have half the day to play, but it's not something you can rely on. It's not enough just yet. Nades exchange now on the cliffs between Falcons playing as 3 and OG playing as 2. Falcons with Ralph all the way as a backstop. That's a big nade. Blast the card of the sky and AKOP with it. WizGod now the last player to stand. And that's flushed up. That's stolen away that point. That's nasty. As he's going to send on over. Oh, and another shot down over towards OG. They go down 16th place. No elims.
Yeah, nice with APG. Picked up both of them. Falcon's pretty frustrated about that. Had to expend a load of utilities to make that one happen. And yet get both elims stolen. So up to 50 points now. I think the record was like 83, 82 from Kara on day 2 of Gauntlet.
It might have been that. I was thinking about Thunder Talk in day 1 as well, which could have been a potential.
I think Kara's is higher, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But still, APG's on track right now to beat that. Now,
well, if they can keep up 16 points a game, sure.
The funny thing is, if they continue on this trajectory, they actually hit 100 points in one day. Like, unironically as well.
That would be insane. 16 points a match times 6? Really? I don't think that's.
I mean,
that's
they're
just shy.
They're on 50 points right now.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, that's true. But some of the points have come from this game. 2 of them. So technically, they are just shy in terms of the average points per game. We'll see what more they can do here.
Okay, this is circle
they're
look.
in the middle of the
That's
circle.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, that's a big circle up.
I guess it's not
today,
too
for sure.
bad. Yeah, I guess it's not too much circle look because you are in the center anyway. So this is technically the circle you're hoping for. So this is a weird one where it's like, did they just play this correctly, or I would say it's just played it correctly, because I think circle look would be if they shifted over towards Icy's compound on the northwest side. For this, it's just like, well, they have played the circle here.
Loops trying to send on in. Maybe they're playing the circle here as well as they head on up to the APG camp. Rattoboy first to go down on the fight. Reefus able to flee around the side, fling himself a little bit further. Top chasing down those knocks, chasing down maybe an Elim point more. As they spot Loops descending the hill. Rafinha on foot over his Yol. Not a chance. Reefus on guard. And he steps up well. And APG, they claim their hilltop. They solidify it a bit further. Nobody's going to dare to step up there anytime soon, you'd imagine.
Yeah, it's a really, really strong spot, but you do need to be competent to play that position. Because as we saw there, when teams come to fight you, it is just bare knuckle fighting, essentially, where there's not too much cover. You're just straight in there. In the meantime, Alter Ego coming up against Tiamba, and that's more like the Bond I know.
He's looking for more, looking for those flashes, looking for those reses, looking to try and rely on his teammate as well as, unfortunately, they have lost one. There is 2 or 3 other teams around here who will hear this all unfold, and Gen G are going to strike out first with the nades. Reject, are they going to try and get involved, or are they going to try and get ahead of this one, try and cut around the outside? But the first nade lands. Tiamba doing a lot of damage, getting those flushes as Alter Ego are eliminated, but now Tiamba need to try and stay alive. They're only as 3. They don't have full force, but they are getting healed up slowly. They can move forwards now, but they do need to find an opening. Reiji, there he goes. Reject did not want to get ahead. They wanted to add a point to their tally, and it looks like they're going to get stuck in here with Reiji crashing in.
It's not going well for Reject. But QZZ being down, Bond needs to hit a good Molotov down the stairs here. We'll try and bounce it off the side. Doesn't get too much burnt out of the way. So they do have a spy in the mix for Tiamba. They will need to get rid of Reiji, but the nade into Sarah knock. Synchronized destruction over towards Tiamba. Apollo's already left the game. He's had enough of it.
I'm done, guys. See you later. We only got 4 points so far. Oh, wait, hang on a minute. Now we got 7. Maybe I should have stayed. Oh, well. They are going to play it on as 2. Looks like Sarah got the most of those, actually. I think, was it his nade that got sent in through the window? That's crazy. And it was nothing to do with Reiji as they send on out to the west side. D+, not really going to have an angle here. They're going to move into the foothills underneath APG.
Okay, Wolves. I mean, this is the second time now where Wolves got far into the game. Currently have 4 players. And the scorecard doesn't look crazy for them in terms of points, but I think initial rotates from Wolves are good. Again, I think it's just that closing of the game that they seem to struggle with the most right now. Especially the figuring out of like what is the next maneuver, what split do we need to take towards the end game. That's where they're really going to have to readjust a lot of their game plans going in towards the future. And I think that is like the day 2 mentality they need to have is like, right, well, early to mid game is fine. What we need to solve is late game.
That is really where the majority of points are earned as well, right? It's all well and good getting up to 20 minutes each match, but not getting too much further than that. That's a real massive swathe of points that you're losing out on. D+ trying to slice through the Gen G hold, but Fabian goes down first. Dami holding on the inside. Finally, they get that knock for D+, but it's maybe too little too late because Nolbu's down as well. You've got the last player from GOAT who's overlooking this potentially to wait to see who filters on out. Actually, Gen G are down to 2. D+ down to 2 as well. Oaksal doing a lot of work here, it has to be said, for D+, and Falcons chime into the fight for good measure.
Yeah, help out D+ here. I mean, for Osal there, I was just kind of wondering where he was. Good shot from Papa Supermassive. Good shot onto Supermassive, sorry, from APG. Wolves will finish off at least one player from Reject there. They do take a knock in the process. Kuz is going to pick him back up again. Baton with the swing out for the scout. And this is, again, this is what I'd like to see from the Wolves right now. You know, they are now thinking about what's the next step. What do we need to do now to secure the next position? For Baton immediately going for that scout there, that's giving them a little bit of information that there is a team looking to rotate ahead of them.
Information game. Very important in these circles now. Lots to, I mean, first of all, get all this information, but take these shots as well. That little rock is a very large cliff. They sat at top right now, gives them great oversight, but it does expose them. And that's exactly what Reefus finds over from APG. It does help Falcons down to the west and a little bit to the south, but APG do still have oversight. In the meantime, a little bit of a scrap between Inner Circle, Loops as well joining, as well as 9Z.
I mean, GS might even try and get out on this. This is a lot of different teams all in one building. IQ will go down, but T24 wreaking havoc on the bottom floor at the moment. There's Coligo left remaining, but we know how much of a terror Coligo can be from upstairs. Look at it stamp his feet.
Also looking at Falak go down in the other building there to Vatine on the hop in. The heal went through, and that's T24 down. So Inner Circle fully flushed. GS not getting involved in this fight at all. They are now mounting up into a vehicle, but they can't make a decision. Well, they certainly haven't yet, as the nade lands underneath Coligo, and it's actually Loops to be able to be the team to survive out the other end of it. But nobody's done very well off of that blank, off that fight. No one really got too many points, and they've all gone down before the placements even kick in.
You know, despite Falcons having a pretty bad start to this game and losing one player, I think they've done a great job playing on this cliffside. They haven't been too influential on the map in terms of those eliminations, but they've consistently put up some points here and there looking for an end game finish. Circle moves back up towards the north side, which really encompasses this high ground once again. I think at some point APG needs to start worrying about the eastern side, but they're actually quite lucky that the circle, that was close. They're actually quite lucky that the circle encompasses a small amount of Team Secret's compound, because they can look at that and be like, well, it's likely that team is just going to sit in there. So we can fully focus over towards the western side now, knowing that the hilltop is going to break all the sight lines from the eastern side. So super fortunate and tiny little things, which is adjusting how APG is playing this circle.
And APG on the hilltop really are the team to beat here, not just on the tables but in this game. And look at, there's no team beneath them that is alive anymore, Blank, really, not within arm's reach of them, as Loops finally bite the dust there. Their last player falls down. GS maybe not long for it either, so they've only got the one elim to show for their match at this stage. I mean, for APG, who takes them down here? I mean, it's Team Secret, maybe? But even then, like, their run out is going to be completely overlooked by that push. I mean, Wolves probably actually is the most likely in this scenario to be able to take them out.
I mean, if you are Team Secret, like, to be honest, you should be pushing west here or trying to sweep on one of these sides, because this is the big reason why APG is having free reign on the west, is because they're almost certain that Team Secret's not going to leave that compound. That would be the like sneaky maneuver that Team Secret could make here, which is to completely abandon that compound, which is likely not to be in this next circle anyway, and go for a quick spin. But again, I think Team Secret's just worried. They've been playing worried all day, and I think that APG is the one team right now who is playing with that vast amount of confidence and bravado in these games.
Nolbu finally down, tried to play the smoke tricks, tried to play up towards that late game that we saw from them. Getting a third place on the foothills of Everest, denied this time, down in 7th place. APG going for a rollout towards GS. Team Secret still yet to move. And GS, I mean, there's really not a lot you could do. When that many players for APG roll up on you, goodness me, that's going to be a tough start. Wolves and Papa Supermassive, though, not taking the opportunity, with APG diverting a lot of their power up. Hang on a minute. That's a lot of damage done. Maybe they are finding the opportunity. Maybe they are looking for that opening.
I mean, he should be able to get this res here, honestly, I believe. But it's also understandable why they go for that rotate. Good knock from Doc there. Again, the second time today that he's gone for a rundown onto Baton as well, by the way. And it feels like they're just soloing the Wolves at the moment. Now looking for a little bit more at the back of it. Papa Supermassive goes down. But yeah, you can absolutely understand why APG sends the two over towards that north side for the exact reason of TS going for this rotate over towards the north, which they are trying for now. Immediately, Doc continues to rotate around, but the circle going down towards that south side. I think at the moment, what APG needs to do is control the north and then play down towards the south.
I mean, you don't want to allow the Falcons too much, right? They are a duo, but they can still have an impact from the south side of this ridge approach. Maybe
absolutely, but that's going to be your final fight, right? That'll be your final fight. So right now they have the most control on the north side. So we lock that down. Then we rotate around Team Secret, which again, for Team Secret not flexing from this position earlier, they've almost given themselves a death sentence by doing that. So I'm a little bit confused. Jagki, the only one really with a forward-thinking plan here, trying to scout something slightly over towards these hilltops.
Did need to wrap around a little bit earlier, but now the run out is going to be pretty impossible. Looks like, yeah, the one smoke coming through on that approach. They're going to have to just go for it. They're just going to have to try and push all the way around to the north, try and find something, because you don't have any other options at this stage. This will be readable by APG. The question is, how do they respond? It looks like they're going to regroup fully, actually give ground to Team Secret, as Falcons are going to carry them as they try and get across. Not going to work out for them. Koa, happy to help.
Yeah, there's barely anything else for Falcons to look at right now other than Team Secret as they make this crossing. Again, to Team Secret, the fact they don't make this a little bit early, they could have got all four across potentially. Zhou will find Doran, and it's another high elim game, up to 10 right now on the match. It sits them at 58 points here, not to mention the placement points that they will likely get. But let's see if APG can close down another, go for the back-to-back here, John.
They've had a second place so far today, a chicken dinner as well. They're now looking to try and make it a second chicken dinner, a very high placing game. That is a very lucky bounce on the nade for top, as Koa nearly was able to create an opening on the flank, but he backs off very, very quickly, knows that he's not going to get pushed, and Refus answers with a nade to Koa, takes half his HP bar, but he's got an MG3, and Max is salivating at the thought of what he could do there, as Redox is flushed out in the open.
He's going through a little bit of shit damage, kind of going off kilter though. GK will find Koa, so now it is just the 4v3 now. Team Secret versus APG. Zhou on the off angle. Now this is where APG needs to keep a tight ship, because before they've made some careless mistakes in the past which have led to their downfall, but a good pick off from top makes it a 4v2, and it's almost undeniable now that APG should get the win.
I mean, look at the utility, if nothing else, right? There's absolutely nothing for Team Secret to play with. It's all in APG's pocket. Doc flexing out, playing the smoke, nades rolling over. They're going to be tickling that damage down and down and down. Team Secret need to try and hold their nerve in a 2v4 against APG when they're feeling hot. There's not many that can withstand the test. And Top steps it up, does it all himself. The P90 able to rattle them down. And APG back-to-back taking Erangel by storm.
Really, really well done. And a back-to-back here for APG is ginormous. They're looking for the century in one day here, John. And they're making it look almost possible as well. Fantastic stuff. It really does feel like a very, very different APG from the Gauntlet stage. And it all starts with one man admitting to his own wrongs. And that's what matters here for APG. I think that they feel much more like a team here. And it's nice to see. It really is.
And oh, I believe I was muted there. As also from Team Secret, they were assisted on that east side, right? Holding that ground open and doing a lot to help APG's mountaintop position. APG, though, they're more than happy to sit atop the rest, take another chicken dinner.
Doc said, my bad. And then he said, nah, I'm a bad man, dude. I mean, these guys are going crazy here. Back to back chicken dinners for Alpha Gaming. I mean, we heard it there from John and Blake. Like, where has this team been? Right? Where were they during the gauntlet? I mean, this is crazy, Max.
Yeah, I mean, they were going gear second at the start of today, and now they're going gear fifth. They're going the entire way here, Hot Jukes.
Yes.
Really happy with APG. And the way they held this central position, Niptura, they don't even have a compound, and yet it felt like a compound because their zoning was so strong in this game that no team could even try and wrestle that position away. It was just so one-sided in favor of APG from start to finish off this game. It was crazy.
Yeah, so nice to see from them. And, you know, Loops did try to breach it. They did have sort of a half-hearted attempt there. And the way that APG just shut it down, just sent a message from the rest of the teams that, hey, actually, you really don't want to push here. We have this covered, locked down. You're not going to come in. And teams really respected that. So really nice to see from APG just to be able to show such a strong force in this game.
5 elims for top, and then everyone Doc 3 elims. Reefus 3 elims. You're 3 elims. Like, this is perfect share in terms of eliminations, Hot Jukes. Everyone has an impact in this game. And Doc, by the way, only taken 46 damage with 3 elims. With almost 1,000 damage, by the way. I think only 46 damage taken goes to show that when he was peeking you, he was winning 99% of those clashes. So Doc, crazy on those sprays.
Sharing the wealth, man. The first 2 Aaron Gales of the day, right? We get a Gatka circle. I asked you, Max, right? What are the chances we're going to see another one? You said 99%, or it's going to be 1% the other way. And the funny thing is, I think this is the most opposite possible circle from Gatka. Like, the furthest you can get away. We go all the way to Lapofka here to the east, man. And it's so crazy for Alpha Gaming to win this one, right? Because they land over their military base. They don't even go down the eastern bridge. Now, they go down the western bridge. But what did you think about that rotation? I know we're going to see their graphic here in a little bit, but that was a crazy one, Max.
By the way, when I said 99% chance of happening, I didn't mean the circle. I meant like APG win back to back. That made me feel confused.
That's what it was.
That's what I meant.
That makes sense.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really happy you bring up, actually, as you go through the replays, the early rotation. APG usually, I don't know if you would agree, Niptura, strike me as a very slow early game rotational team. They don't leave Military Island that quickly, but this game, I think they saw phase 1, they're like, we need to rotate minute 2 of this match, and they did it, which allowed them to get center position pretty much circle 2, and then no one could contest it away. That early rotate literally won them the game from the very word go of this match.
It really did, yeah. I think because they knew how typically the zone shifts over here. If you come over to this east side, very often it lands around that coastal area, and they were like, listen, the early bird catches the worm in this zone in particular. We gotta get there early. And it really did work out, because as we were saying, right, they kind of won this game from like phase 2. It was a done deal as soon as they took that hillside. So yeah, the other teams barely had a chance, and you can see in the points, APG running away with it. A back-to-back chicken dinner means not only are they at the top and above the other teams, but now they're even more above the other teams, because that's 24 points that IC don't have and AE don't have. So both those teams have a little bit more work to do now.
I think this entire lobby needs to come to an agreement to not let Top get a P90, because he's just too good with that weapon. He got it twice in a row, and he just dominates everyone with that P90. Like, the guy is crazy with that weapon. Though, if we want to go on another big positive, Falcons, Niptura, your boys, finally doing something here, not losing anyone really too early on in this match, able to play the clip, wrestle that position away from Orangutan. Good stuff coming out from them.
Really good stuff. I love how they were able to actually hold down that position, because it's so open on that back end, and there were still a few players, a few teams on that southern side. So really nice control work from them as well, with Raouf going on to the off angle against D plus Kia as well. So really nice stuff coming in from them. But the man of the hour, APG Top. Let's go. Able to get basically a 1v2 to win the game is crazy. It's so nice to see this man back on top. No pun intended.
Literally. I mean, man, I'm telling you, these guys are on trend, right? To beat Kara as record, right? For points in one day. I mean, they are on point here. So that's so great to see. You know, when it comes to Falcons, you know, it's good to see them put some points here a little early on. They did end up losing one early, but they end up making it happen. They go to 9th place now, but oh my goodness, 72 points. 72 in 4 games. That is 18 points a game, Neptura. Are you kidding me?
I'm so happy. I love this so much. APG comeback of the century. Let's go. This is exactly what they needed, and it's not something any of us expected, because APG typically, even when they're having a good season, they do this on the last day. Day number 1, we barely hear anything out of them. So for them to switch it up and flip the story and go, no, we're coming in with a bang, day number 1, to such an extent at the moment, it seems like teams are actually falling in front of them, kind of going, hey, actually, we need to respect this team. We can't be doing the things that we want to do. They're controlling the lobby already, Max.
I can't wait to see all the biased caster allegations in chat, because it's so hype of this leaderboards. But it's been such a great day from so many different teams here, so of course we're going to get a little bit more hype about this one.
Yeah.
Looking at the top 4 players of this game, of course, top with a P90 popping off, first, and Redox. We know what this guy can do on the global stage, right, Niptura, especially during PMG earlier this year. He was an absolute menace, and he's definitely been able to come through on this Erangel game.
Yeah, so much fun to see him as well. Redox coming in here, and again, we liked how we saw what we saw from them in that last game. We're moving on into Miramar now. It may be having Falcons have a little bit more space to control things a little bit better, have a slower paced game. Maybe we'll start to see them thrive, because we really do need to start seeing that, because there's only so many matches left today.
To mention, I mean, there's a big point gap between them and that 3rd place team. Currently sitting at 3rd place, you got 9Z there with 41 total points. Falcons are sitting down with 18. Quick math in my head, that's 23-point difference, right? So, man, those top 3 slots are going to run away so quickly. That's the big difference from here in the Gauntlet, right? Gauntlet, it was top 7. Here being top 3, you have to have crazy consistency. I mean, just to kind of guesstimate, right? I'll start with you, Max. In order to get to top 3, how many bad games do you think you can afford here in this stage, right? We're gonna have 18 games total, right? So how many bad games do you think you could punch out in order to still make top 3?
To still be able to reach top 3, I would say you can have one, like, kind of midday. So one midday. Otherwise, the 2 other days, you need to pop off and have a really consistent performances. Otherwise, top 3 is just out of the question. We saw how close it was, right, during Gauntlet, and that was for top 7. So top 3 is going to be even harder for these teams to make it. So I would say one bad day, maybe forgiven. More than that, get the hell out of here.
I mean, heck, with one monster day, Neptura, right? APG could just lock down one of those slots really, really quickly here. So that's only going to leave 2 more left to go. And with how 9Z's playing, I mean, so many of these squads. And that's what makes, I think, you know, Alpha's Gaming's, you know, play here so much more impressive, because we just noticed just how leveled up this lobby is compared to the Gauntlet, right, Nep?
Yeah, 100%. And I love that it's APG who are the ones dominating the rest of the lobby, because the lobby is so strong now. They're just coming out on top here. So for them, it is going on a trajectory of, wait, there might only be 2 slots left. We really want to see maybe something like that come on through. We'll see if maybe that is going to be the case. Even tomorrow, that could be the case. So I'm really excited to see what we got going on here. But these next 2 Miramars are really going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, these Miramars are going to be very fun to see, for sure.
That is what I am looking for here. Let's see exactly how that's all going to play out.
7WG. This one is going to be in regards to OG, because this team, I mean, they're currently in 6th place, but they're just kind of falling away in regards to those top 3 squads. They are being a little bit more aggressive. Something that I want to bring into attention to you is in regards to the IGL for OG. During the Gauntlet, he was able to get a total of just 7 eliminations. AKOP, he was able to play lights out. Today so far, Aru has been able to get 2 elims. This squad needs to start getting a lot more eliminations. We know they can get the placement points. Let's see if they can maybe perform enough to make it to top 3 at the end of day 1 Group Green.
There we go, and we can just see right there, our 0.5 average elimination so far. You know, we've seen that kind of back and forth play from in some really good positions, too spread out and getting picked apart, right? What do you think this team needs to do, you know, change macro-wise, Neptura, in order to, you know, possibly make a run for top 3?
I think they just need to be more decisive, honestly. They set up so well, particularly that in game number 3 comes to mind for me. They had a really good setup early game into the mid game. They were looking really nice. They were splitting for some control, but what ends up is they get too fragmented. I would love to see them take one or two strong positions, do a 2-2 split if they really want to split for maximum control, but keep it to that. None of these individual splits. We need to see more unity as a team, because that's going to bring forward a much stronger appearance to the rest of the lobby.
Yeah. That game you talked about, I'm really happy you bring it up, Niptura. If they just play together, they don't get caught off guard by Chips, the solo from D plus Kia, and also lose a solo player to the side of Wolves. I genuinely think that was going to be our first orangutan win, which would have been so hyped to witness. Didn't quite happen. But, you know, it's cool that we have such an obvious thing that needs to be fixed, because I'm sure internally they know it's just a matter of time before that adaptation comes through. But I'm looking at the bottom of the leaderboards now, outside of just orangutan and what they can improve upon. Bottom 5 currently, you have GOAT, Team Secret, Tiamba, GS, Reject. Reject hurts me, guys. I don't know about you.
That's crazy, yeah.
Seeing them currently in the bottom of the leaderboards is a really, really tough thing, especially because Sarah joined the team back, Hot Jukes, a little bit earlier this year. I was thinking, okay, Sarah's back, the team is back, the team that dominated 2024 back at PMGO, PMWC, and here we're not seeing anything. And I couldn't even tell you what is the main big core issue for this team right now, because they just don't get to the late game. What is happening for this team? The confidence for me has just completely disappeared, knowing they were just such a threat in global lobbies back in last year.
Yeah, super rough day one. And that's the hardest thing to do, especially at this stage, right? Is to bounce back after a rough day so far. And the thing is, they have to do it now, really, because, I mean, bottom 5, you are gone, dusted, and out of here. So Team Reject need to step up when it comes to Miramar. We got the next map coming up, Maxman, drop wise. What are you looking at?
Damn, wait, let me open it. I didn't have on my screen. He got me right there. Okay, drop location issue could be Orangutan APG. Of course, don't forget about that one. That could be an issue. Looking at actually El Pozo, we do have GOAT versus Falcons. That could be a very interesting clash if it does happen, but it's mainly down to the plane path because it's Miramar. A lot of teams have secondary drop locations, so I'm not too scared. Unless the plane is like really bad, then we might have a lot of issues here, Hot Jukes, for sure.
All right, well, let's just see if those issues are going to get fixed. Which team is going to be able to finally dethrone Alpha Gaming here? Will they get that third chicken dinner in a row? Let's find out right now as we take it on over to Miramar.
And Miramar is here. The day keeps getting better. We are looking to see if Alpha Gaming can keep things going, because it feels like at some point they got to run out of gas.
You'd think so, right? You would think so. I mean, to be honest with you, if we are looking at the Gauntlet performances, right now Alpha Gaming is already halfway there to what was a top 3 spot over in the Gauntlet. So, and that's in 4 matches. Very, very impressive stuff. You guys are talking about Chumacera and the OG APG potential drop there. I think the OG has already lifted off that position and are trying to drop elsewhere now. But we'll see how that does unfold. Very kind playing path to start things off. So straight across the map, really easy, really accessible for everyone to get where they want to go during this game. D plus already dropping down towards Impala, Reject very close to them. And yeah, Reject being down towards the bottom of the lobby does hurt me as well. I think Sarah getting back into the roster, it's unfortunate seeing him have so much success over on other international squads and now coming back over towards Reject and trying to rebuild there. We do have a hot drop here, Gen G as well as GOAT, 2 teams that struggle a little bit. Gen G less so than GOAT right now.
They are, yeah, Gen G up in 7th place, but even there, that's not going to be super comfy. Especially with a 72-pointer on the map in Hacienda. They'll go toe-to-toe, and neither team losing one just yet, but you've got to imagine it's only a matter of time. A lot of SMGs there, playing the close corners. Top floor owned by GOAT, and Quick wants to try and hop up. No, not going to be allowed to get up the stairs, just hopping in through the ground floor window. And they're really, really reluctant to go for this. Where's the other player coming on through for GOAT? That's what I want to know. There he is. Okay.
Off angle right now on the top of the building, playing rooftops. It's a good spot to play as well, looking down these corridors. Both Gen G and GOAT right now, a bit of a stalemate happening. Goat want them to come up the stairs, and Gen G want them to come down the stairs. A little bit unideal. But right now, for Gen G, at least they have the pick of the litter when it comes to the loot in the bottom rooms. A Winnie on board with the pump action. Circle over towards that northwest side. Few teams over towards this location. Tiamba getting a good start over towards Crater Fields and the high ground like around La Cobreria. Monte Nuevo for Wolves, so they can transition from there. 5th place right now, it's not terrible. But again, you're right, with the 72 points that have been put up by APG, it does make the middle of this leaderboard incredibly odd, where you have 20 points galore, starting from 5th place, dropping all the way down towards 12th with Goat with 16. It's a very minimal margin between all these squads, and everything really does change on a dime. So it's hard to even really say where things are going to end up at the end of the day, or whether it really matters, as opposed coming into day 2, where everyone is so similar in performance. Day 2 is where things start to shift if APG doesn't stop dominating.
Yeah, that's something that you, at the moment, I wouldn't bet on. But they do have that route up from Chumacero necessary. This standoff in Hacienda, I mean, this is pretty crazy that more fighting hasn't happened. It's a top floor, upstairs, downstairs kind of fight. I guess nobody wants to be the one to go through those choke points. But then again, you could hop out those windows. You can go further around. It is an interesting one. As we hop over to Chumacero, we'll, I'm sure, see more of that in the elimination feed once they decide to get going. Not that they need to immediately, but it is APG on screen right now. The names on everyone's lips, and oh, okay, hang on a minute. We've got Gen G finally stepping out and immediately take a knock.
Yeah, it's definitely a game of chicken, really, here for Hacienda between Gen G as well as Goat. I mean, neither team wants to make the first move, and understandably so. But again, for Gen G, for me, it's a case if you have shotguns on board. We saw, I think, at least 2. So you want to push the high ground. Satan finding the off angle of Vic is a really big deal. Right now, what they really need to do is get Dammy back up on his feet. And if they can do that, then they can start to play the refrag game. But this is a little bit of a push upstairs. 2 goes down already. I'm glad for it. You know, Go takes the first move and it was necessary.
They are going to get that res as well on the sidelines. Picking up those elus, picking up those flushes quick. Not going to save his teammate there. Obviously not able to step around down the staircase. But now it's just quick left. A sliver of HP, 1 shot. He's waiting for the others to step through. Has got that double barrel. Does manage to full one through. But that is all he'll find. And it will be Goat cleanly picking up Hacienda. And by clean, I mean none of them have died.
Yeah, again, for Gen G, as soon as you get that pick off over towards Vic on the outside, that's where you're looking for that res immediately, and then you're pushing the stairs and looking for the refrags by playing the man advantage. It's a confusing one where neither team seem to have all that much confidence, and then Go is pressured by desperation.
That is unfortunate. Unfortunate turn of events there. GS have taken a knock as well. Loops looking to maybe send a cross for this one. They've already got the sight line on the cross, as you can see. Held down by Neil Zada. There's a vehicle. Careens past him. He turns around. Not phased at all. Jafar should be going down here. Everybody moving in now towards the middle zones as Crater Fields become all the harder. A little replay on the pop-off of that fight between Goat and Gen G. As they're able to find some points off the back of that. Gen G, not so lucky. With GS being right in the middle as well, this pickup for Loops is pretty solid. They'll want to continue to hold this area.
Oh, the sneezes right now. Yeah, it's bad.
Got in a big way.
The allergies are coming through thick and fast. And all my windows are closed, so I don't know. I'm allergic to be inside.
Yeah, I don't know. You need to... You take a minute, that's cool. Get yourself nose blown, because the moment, I mean, you can sit down, you can get on the bench with Gen G, right? Because they are already out. They're not they're not going to be playing the rest of this match. Half of their Miramars today are a wash. Alter Ego moving in from this northeast side. Alter Ego with 9Z actually, not too far away. Rosemary jetting out there near Cruz de Valle. The 2 teams in the northeast side very isolated from everyone else. Not not impossible that D+ send up the east side all the way to meet them, but they'll have a long way to go to do so. And you hope that they can get on. OG right now, after going down first, or well, in 16th place in the last match, hoping to keep things together a little bit more. And Seven obviously was saying they need to pick up the elims and see if they can actually keep that pressure going, because they've had some good spots, but 6th place, I mean, it's good, but they definitely, it feels like they could be a little bit higher up, maybe neck and neck with Alter Ego. Oh, he's still going.
No, that was the last one. I swear, that was the last one. I promise. That was the last one.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't. It's very, very likely another sneeze is coming, just like another chicken dinner from APG is on the way. OG, though, looking to face off versus IC. Or just dip. See what they want to do with it. Second circle shift, though, John.
Up towards that north side. Tiamba. Get a big split across it as well. Those hills in the middle for GS. Those really, really towering mounds that sit there. Looks like they've got most of it under control. Tiamba looking to regroup towards the middle. And they may be able to do so fairly uncontested for now. Alter Ego, not slow, but they aren't there in time to catch that Tiamba regroup. Papa Supermassive further on their southeast side. OG now caught in a little bit of a muddle between them, Reject. You've got Inner Circle as well. Potential for loops to get involved from up front. It could get real mucky as APG sit behind all of it. And if their last game's ready to go by, that is a very dangerous place to sit between APG and a good game.
Exactly. You are the wall in the path, and right now APG is looking like they've just been smashing boundaries all over the place. A lot of high ground in this next circle, though, John. With GS currently holding over towards Credit Fields on that side. You have water treatment, which most teams are avoiding like the plague right now. No one really wants to be playing on that low ground unless it's necessary. I like where Alter Ego is looking to end up, though. This high ground on the northeast, that's where they're passing through. There's the roads on the north side, and they're looking to head down towards the south. A fair few compounds will play in that area should it come there. But most teams are just looking for position right now.
And rightly so. The south side, though, much busier. On this edge, you could see the number of teams close by. APG circling around OG. And it looks like they're not quite going to find anything. Atanki may be moving up for a shot here. Looking for Doc. Knows the buggy's coming around, but Doc might have a shot of his own. Reject could have angle. No, not quite. It's just rolling around that hilltop. They do want to find something here. They are in the zone on this south edge. APG hold that mound, but sits in the middle of it all. That south control seems fairly firm right now for APG.
Yeah, they are slightly pincered, though, between them and Loops. And I think Loops is probably the biggest target to get rid of at the moment. OG being down the hill on the roadside, they're not likely to get too involved in many of these fights over towards the southeast. So APG, they're more concerned with the likes of IC as well as Loops playing off towards the western side of Hacienda. I think this is where APG needs to sort of slow the game down a little bit.
And they don't need to pop off just yet. They might want to, though. Keep up